GM, we are live. It's Friday. Some of us stayed up late watching the worst Thursday night game in a very long time. There was a game a few years ago that ended 12-9 with all field goals. This was almost as bad. This may have arguably have even been worse because we had some expectations here. We all wanted to see what Brock Bowers would do after his historic game, and he didn't do anything. Bo Nix can be fun to watch. He was not fun. Genty, supposed to be a fun player. That wasn't fun. Terrible game. Don't even really have too many takeaways there. Geno Smith got banged up. Sounds like it's nothing severe. I think they came out and said it was a thigh bruise. But, I mean, my God, that was regrettable. That was regrettable. I actually fell asleep halfway through the fourth quarter and nothing had changed. So if anything happened, I was exciting super late. I did miss that, I will confess. However, that was a nightmare. That was a nightmare. Chris, the GM, while I was waiting in the wrong video, but I'm here. Hey, well, appreciate you, Chris. Thank you. I'm glad I'm glad we rectified that. Chris was in the wrong stream at the beginning yesterday, but good morning to you, Chris. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Joel, GM to you. Thanks for joining us this morning. Likewise, Smooth Criminal, GM to you. Stephen WC, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Stephen. Hope you're having a great day today. Seattle, Chicago, late last year was really bad. Yeah, I vaguely remember that one as well. I guess, I don't know why I was like kind of low-key excited for this one. Probably shouldn't have been. There's just like a lot of fantasy relevant pieces and they all kind of bricked unless you had Franklin. I guess Franklin for what you paid for him, kind of got what you needed. Everyone else was a disaster. Brian the Goober, GM Candle Crew. Hey, GM to you, Brian the Goober. Brian, your stream was thousands of times more entertaining than the game yesterday. So I appreciate you doing that. For those of you who don't subscribe to G for Gumby's channel, that's where you can find Brian the Goober. He did a couple dog bowls last night and some BRs. It was a great show. So check that out on replay if you missed it. But appreciate you, Brian. As always, I'm going to just hop into a main BR. I think the biggest I don't have developer mode on. I promise. I'm not developing anything here. Dear God. Hold on. Let me try to fix this without having to switch. Do this on my phone. All right. Share this tab instead. Waiting for 3 on the BR. We'll hop into it. Fannin showed up with a hamstring injury and missed practice entirely yesterday. And we know from experience the the full practice DNP or full practice LPs can be pretty bad for your availability. I think that makes Njoku a pretty interesting click. I'm not breaking too much ground. When that news broke, I was in a dog bowl and someone immediately snapped off Njoku in the 6th round. He was going undrafted most of the time in those. I suspect he now will be drafted the majority of the time. I also think he'll probably be at least 80% owned, if not higher, because he'll probably become the default swap for Fannin, who was drafted in all of them. So I don't think he becomes a jam in the 12s. I think he's a fine click, but I don't think you're getting him at ownership or at discount because he was a 6th round pick anyway, and he's not moving up to the 5th really. I mean, 5th, 6th doesn't tend to make a huge amount of difference. I still think it's fine. I think it makes him a better play. But I don't know that, I wouldn't double count the ownership discount in the 12s. However, if you think he just becomes a smash, then obviously grab him. I think he's very live in the 6 persons because Fannin was not, I don't know if his ADP is adjusted, but yeah, he's buried down here. I don't think that's swung too much. And Njoku now has come up to tight end 7. But what are we at on the fill rate? 24. So about 25% of the contest is done with probably him being very low owned. I still don't think he's drafted every single time, but maybe a little bit of interest there. Let's see if anyone got into this room. We've got Mr. Worth at the 5, and I don't think I see anyone else. We got one no badger. If anyone else is in here, let me know. I have some ranks in here that I kind of threw together last minute because I was starting to auto some of the Wildcats. I wanted to see how teams looked with some ranks. I can't tell you there was a huge amount of thought put into them, other than I wanted to have Allen and Lamar after ADP, because if you have them ranked with ADP, you will get them, almost every time here. Whereas if you have them ranked a little after, you might get some ADP value. And I think with those two, I don't think I want to be taking them at ADP so much. So I don't know. At least if I'm autoing, I didn't want to end up with like 100% combined exposure between Allen and Lamar. So push them down a little bit. Other than that, I guess I kind of had a clump of receivers. I'm a little higher on Garrett Wilson, but nothing too crazy there. No big fades other than Nico Collins I did not have ranked, and Steph Diggs I didn't have ranked. Now, I might take some of them if I'm manually doing them, but again, I was afraid if I was autoing, kind of not paying attention, I would end up over the field on guys I was kind of out on. So, yeah, Jake Vinegar, GM to you. Appreciate you coming by, hanging out. Likewise, Chief Matt. Good morning. Good morning to the Chief. I hope y'all are having a great day today. Trying to think if there's other practice news of really fantasy relevant people. I think it's pretty clear that Swift is playing, so that's kind of out. Last I heard was Swift was going to retain the starting job, but Monangai was still going to get some work. I think that's probably going to be about a 50-50 split. I still think Monangai gets the goal line stuff. I wish I had a lot less Monangai from early in the week in my dog bowls because I got him at an absolutely terrible price. Those teams are probably in a fair amount of trouble. A, because Monangai might not do very much, and B, I definitely got it in bad from a CLV perspective. I'll do a Kittle team, I think. I want one of these tight ends. You know what? Let's do a Laporta team. Let's do a Laporta team. And you know what? I don't take Zay Flowers very often. I don't think I want to end up with no Zay Flowers. So let's do that. You don't need to pair him with Lamar. I actually kind of think he's a little bit intriguing without Lamar because they're going to be together so often. So we got Amon-Ra, Dowdle, Laporta, Flowers. I kind of forgot I had Amon-Ra. So this is now a Jared Goff team. So we will do Goff, Amon-Ra, Laporta, and just hope that they win by 100 here in they win by 100 here against the Commanders. That's what I get. I'm kind of still half asleep here, so I don't think I would intentionally do this too much. I think it's fine, but the double stacks in the BRs can be, in the main BR can be tough. If this was the Engage 8, I would not bat an eye, but this is a little bit tough. Yeah, the Lions double. Let's go. Yeah, that's what we wanted. We wanted a Lions double. This is an honesty show. I will tell you when I don't do things on purpose, and that was not on purpose. Yeah, I do that all the time. My senior moment. Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. I just, if I do double stack, I'd like it to be intentional. Like I like to put some thought in. Of all the teams to double stack, I think the Lions though are probably the best. Ball, it's like Zay has no nose. No, Zay has no nose. They get inside the red zone, and Lamar is like, listen, Charlie Kolar, Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, one of you three is scoring a touchdown. Zay Flowers, get out of here. Get out of here. We're not going to smell the flowers with that nose of yours because you have none. And what do we want to do? What do we want to do here? Obviously, Goff. I think not taking Goff is cute. And then what do we want to do? Probably just another running back. For me, I really like Travion Henderson. He's going to be very low owned in the 6-person, so I'm going to take a shot on that. I see the vision. If you want to play 3 wide receiver and do Addison, you could. He's going to be pretty low owned. You know what? I'll do a game stack. No, Addison's not in the game. Debo, I mean, good God. Let's do Debo. Sure. We'll do Goff, Dowdle, Amon-Ra, Flowers, Debo, Laporta. I don't love the full game stacks, but I do think it makes a little bit of sense. I certainly would have played this differently. I probably would have taken a running back instead of Flowers because I think two running back is just strictly better. And I'm not super high in Flowers, but I don't know. I think this makes sense. If we're going to double stack it, we're going to need the Lions to keep on throwing. Let's say Debo's the way that they keep it rocking and rolling there. So, if this team, if this was a Deposit Kingdom contest, I think I'd like it a lot more. That contest, of course, opens today once Pete does his show with the Badge Bros. That is a contest you should absolutely max if you're going to max anything. The 3 max $10, good format, good payout structure. Make sure to do that. So not too bad of a team. All right, same occupational hazard of drafting while walking the dog. Yeah. If you're distracted, it can absolutely happen there. Ramsey Perry, GM Chad, everyone. Hey, good morning to you, Ramsey. Hope you're having a great day today. We're gonna keep warming up. We'll do one more BR. We'll do a dog bowl or 2 or 3, but we'll stick with the warm up in these contests. Let me get this going and let me update the timestamps for those watching on replay or those who just want to go back and intro and BR1. All right. All right, BR2. Sweet. Okay. But yeah, appreciate all of you hanging out today. Looking forward to the slate. I think it's a pretty good slate for Battle Royales and for Dog Bowls. It is funny how it feels like there is just the right amount of wide receivers for the Dog Bowl, maybe like 1 or 2 short. If you are the one hole and you need a wide receiver with your last pick, it's usually like I wish one more person didn't need one, is what I've found. So I'm hoping we get some injury news or something that avails a late wide receiver click, because it's just shy of feeling like, okay, I can push receiver to the very last round. That's just been my kind of experience with it. I don't know if other people have late scrolls they are really into. I am there, but I found myself taking guys I'm pretty sure aren't playing to try to stay on the clock, like a Chris Godwin, who I think yet again is trending towards being out. All right, what do we got? I don't think we got anyone here. We got Chad G20. I'd referred to him as the fake Chad before, but then I saw him at the top of the BR 2 weeks ago. Did he? I don't think he qualified for the Dog Bowl, did he? I don't know. Anyway, I think he's a good drafter. He's not. So we've got Chad G20, who's not me, and then myself. I do like to think that there's some people who end up in these rooms and are like, collusion. Chad G20 and Chad Candles. This is at new me. But it is not me. We are not affiliated with Chad G20. But best of luck to them, of course. So let's see from the 6th hole. The 6th hole is kind of fun because, just starting out with 2 of Cook, A-Chain, and Dowdle, since Dowdle turned into Barry Sanders Reborn, is kind of fun. And you generally have the pick of one of these elite, Puka or Amon-Ra tends to be there as well. So there's a lot of different ways to open up from the 6th hole. And there's some decent enough running backs come back to you if you do take a wide receiver. So it's pretty fun. Yeah, Jake says I saw him at the top of the BR. It's like the fake Chad. Yeah, I know. I had this real between him and Chad Matchkey. I am like Chad number 3. It's terrible. But you've got to have self-awareness on these things. But we're working our way up in the Chad power rankings. But unfortunately, we're currently at best fighting for second. We'll get there. We'll get there though. Slowly. All right, so we took Cook, Amon-Ra. We did another Amon-Ra team, but that's okay. We'll try not to double stack it. At least if we do, we'll think about it first. Yeah, it definitely could be a JMO week. I wouldn't be opposed to Amon-Ra, JMO, Goff in small field. I think that would be fine. I would consider trying that in the Dog Bowl if you're feeling really good about that game environment, which I kind of am. I think they are live to get there through the air against the Commanders. GM Candlelights. Yes, I like we are a ite, like a biblical people. The Candlelights. Appreciate you. Greg, thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. Yeah, Chad cubed. Yeah, we'll have to take a picture at the dog bowl. Everyone wants that. All right, let's see. I'm also, as you can tell, not in my normal office. This is Chad Candles in exile. My wife needed the office today, so here I am. All right. Otherwise, nothing too interesting. We see the two elite quarterbacks go at 8 and 9. Again, that's why I have them for my auto draft ranks a little lower than that, because you will get them there every time, and sometimes you can get them later. All right, so McBride goes, Kittle goes. So what that does is that says we're not going to take an elite tight end. We can push tight end to later here. At least that's how I'm going to play this. I think I have a build I want to do. I think I want to do a Tez Johnson and Baker team. If Igbuka comes back to me, though, we might change our mind. My dream team would have been, I was about to say Devontae Adams coming to me there. So if I want to do this Tez Johnson build, I definitely prefer QJ. Gosh darn it. Judkins goes. All right, so we're going to audible ever so slightly in the plan. I do love this game. I think this game is fun. I'm going to go Igbuka and Drake May here. And so then my decision will be, how do I want to stack May or leave him unstacked? I'm really woke to the idea of May Travion being underdone. I think one of the ways to get around Vita Vea will be to throw the ball to the running back. And Travion Henderson, we know, has serious pass catching chops. So I think you could capture a lot of the potential touchdown equity in the Tampa game on the New England side by doing that. Obviously, Travion has a little bit of risk with Jennings and other ones working in a bit. So I don't know. I don't want to do this every time. I know I did one on stream yesterday, but I really kind of think it's a good idea that's not going to be played by the field that much. Even if you see me doing it, I don't think this is going to be super popular. Could also, the other thing that is the obvious play would be to just take Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry, I think, is a pretty nice click this week. He's been up and down, but Tampa Bay, you also beat them throwing over the middle. That's where Hunter Henry does his work. Hunter Henry can be a little annoying. He gets subbed in and out quite a bit. So if you watch the game and you're looking for him, sometimes he's just not there. But yeah, I think I'm going to do the Travion, and who do we want then at tight end? Kincaid. I do have a little bit of a feeling like Kincaid is kind of head and shoulders above the other ones. We could do Henry and double stack New England. Again, I've been saying I don't love the double stacks, and then here we are possibly doing it. Did Njoku go? Did I miss that? No, I'm just blind. Okay, Njoku's still out there, so he's a reasonable click as well. So we'll think about that for a second. Yeah, Candlelight in Exile sounds like something from the Corinthians. Yeah, Lamentations. Woe are we, the Candlelights, exiled from our home. Joel says Quinchon's ADP is fake, seeing him go at the 2-3 tournament. Yeah, I think so too. He's definitely harder to get than he was at the beginning of the week. And I think we knew that he would become more difficult when the Jets traded away their defense, that he might open up. But Kincaid goes. I mean, we could take Swift or Monungai. I'm now ideologically opposed to taking Swift. I think I'm fully in the if Swift beats me, he beats me camp. Laporta goes there. All right, let's get our double stacks out of the way. Let's just say this is the game that nukes. We'll do Henderson and Henry. I'm okay with that. You don't necessarily need a gorillion points from tight end. It could be a low-scoring tight end week. So we'll do that. We'll just do a mini game stack. Again, this is not going to be how I build most of my teams. I think Loveland would have been a fine click. Juwan Johnson's, I think, is going to get a bunch of targets. Ertz, I think Ertz is an intriguing click if he's going to get low ownership. But again, we'll get some of the double stacks. At least this time we thought about it. So we've got Cook, Amon-Ra, Igbuka, Drake May, Travion, and Hunter Henry. Just looking at the board, seeing what other people are doing. Interesting to see Manungai still get drafted here. I think he's going to get drafted less and less frequently. Fake Chad / good player Chad. He takes Jordan Addison. He's a bit of an intriguing click. Doesn't go in a lot of the 6 persons. I think you could definitely add him in, especially opposite Lamar Jackson. And we see an unstacked Darnold, which again, this is not going to project badly at all. If it's Shaheed to Darnold, then nobody has Shaheed. So unstacked Darnold could be pretty live again this week for some kind of reasons unique to the trade deadline week there. So a few things of note in those drafts. Greg, I can't describe the joy of seeing my boy Manungai going mainstream. Yeah. Are you a Rutgers guy? I can't recall, Greg, but he's I'd have to look. I'm going to try to hop into a dog bowl. Let's see what it's at. Could be slow. Oh, waiting for 4. All right, I'll wait in that. I'll let the bum hunters mass and join. I don't know how much Manungai I have in BBM. Kyle Manungai. How much do I have? Here, I'll share. I've got 4. And none of them are advancing. Let's see why. James Conner. Not great. So even though we have Jonathan Taylor and Manungai, we're still not advancing. James Conner is a bit of a albatross there. JMO stinks. Kyler's now been benched. This team is live to advance, though. They put this at a 42%. I don't disagree. CD Lamb was injured for a lot of this year. Oh, Travis Hunter. Ugh. Yeah, this team's dead. All right, let's see what happened in this one. We're waiting for 3 in the dog bowl, by the way. Gibbs, Cook, Pacheco, Miles Sanders. Gosh, that was a phase. That was a phase of life. That was regrettable. Marshawn Lloyd. I think they said they were sending him out west for treatment. It sounds like he's at a farm upstate with all the other family pets. Gosh, Jaden Higgins, Christian Kirk. What was I doing? Bretton Strange. Is he alive? I don't know. It's a real time capsule of bad decisions in my life. All right, let's see. I'm very much a Rutgers guy. Casa Forte. Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome, Greg. Well, good to see you guys get there. Manungai, hopefully the upgraded version of Pacheco. I guess I'm trying to think of the other Rutgers running backs there. But yeah, very, very cool. It's fun when you see a guy that you're like hyped. I mean, that was me with Scatabo. I'm an ASU guy. And so I've been excited about him forever. Brian says, Gumby and I's mom is a big ball knower. She was all in on A-Chain and Bucky pre-draft this year. She said, Manungai's the guy, and I didn't listen. Oh my gosh, and he was free. My problem with Manungai was I was taking a lot of Roshan. That to me was where I went wrong. I was hold on. How much Roshan do I have? I don't even know how to spell his name. And if you put Johnson, it's like 35 people. All right. Roshan Johnson. I have 7 Roshan teams. And according to BBMDB, the best one has a 1% chance of advancing, and it's an 11th. So that was regrettable as well. That was regrettable myself. Waiting for 2, by the way, in the dog bowl, if anyone wants to hop in. But yeah, sometimes you gotta listen to mom. You gotta listen to mom. They know. They just have that. They have that intuition. Big 12 mom is pretty sick. I agree with Greg there. If my mom could name more than 2 current NFL players, I would be stunned. Absolutely stunned. My parents have no affinity for football at all, which is fine. But they're just not their jam. It's not their jam. All right, waiting for one. Anyone wants to get into this one? I think, though, on Bretton Strange, I heard they said he might come back week 11, which would be next week. I don't know. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but that was the kind of last I heard there. All right, so we are up. We are live. We've got Ecoxer at the 2, Crutches at the 4, Wonder Kid 1222. I believe that is you, Brian. Is that? Gosh, apologize if it's not. I always forget your username. I think this might be Brian here. Big Fudgy Busters boys. We got Mr. Worth. And of course, Crutches says, good timing. Hey, good morning, Crutches. Hope you're having a good one. Appreciate you in here. And of course, Crutches in at the 4. I feel like whoever I pass on is going to be who you need. Crutches will be laughing heartily at my expense. But you know what? It's okay. We will do our best here. I mean, I might just be back to taking Cook ahead of ADP, ahead of the wide receivers, but we will see. We will see what we get. Running back has consolidated quite a bit to where I think it becomes a little more difficult to pass on. I think I have so little JSN and Puka at this point. I feel like I've just about made my bet. These are going to be the last teams I draft. So I'll take Cook. He's back at practice. We'll go with God. We'll see what happens. Obviously, if he gets downgraded or something, then these picks are all going to be very terrible. But I will pick on the Miami Dolphins. They are just so gosh darn bad against the run. You're cheerful. Okay, cheerful. That's right. Sorry, Brian. I was like, I didn't think that was it, but then I kind of got nervous. But all right, I will try to remember that. Crutches would have been better if Denver didn't suck out again in Survivor, but alas. See, Crutches, as you said, like, the fish used him week 1 and the sharp used him 2 weeks ago, and I used him last night. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm in that. Maybe I'm just like mid curving it, which is the worst place to be. But yeah, I used Denver. I was one of the sucker outers in Survivor. I have a general rule: A, avoid the Thursday game if you can, and B, never play the Thursday game if it's a division game. This is kind of like an old school, old gambling rule, but I violated it and I immediately regretted it. I was like, I wish I did not play this game. Saving them, but I tend to go for the second or third best ones each week. Yeah, see, I didn't want to end up with the Carolina chalk because I think, like, well, you know, Carolina's not a team you're excited to use. They make a ton of sense against the Saints this week. But, like, if I lose because of Carolina, I'm going to feel like an idiot when I had Denver, you know, playing. What overrode it for me was that Vegas had played a long overtime game. And so I was like, well, this is, you know, Vegas on the road, played 5 quarters, kind of a crazy game. Let's fade that. And I just ended up having to sweat it out. Later in the year, using some chalk spots is fine. Yeah, because there's so few people left. So, like, sometimes I feel like in Survivor, we think something's chalk, and then you're like, oh, like, over half the field can't even use that pick. GM from you in the 2-hole. Hey, Geekox, I see you in there. I'll try to go over everyone's teams towards the end because there's a bunch of folks in here, but I see you there with Mr. Gibbs. No, last night was sharp. Okay. All right. I missed that before. Appreciate that. Yeah, but I guess it probably wasn't super owned left. I used them in one entry, but percent of dollars is below the field. Gotcha. Yeah, I started with 9 and I lost 6 of them all in 1 week. It was the Green Bay Cleveland week. I had 6 of my 9 entries on that one, and it died. And so my remaining 3, are still alive. But that was my one. Like, I almost went all in and then spread it out. That was brutal. And then the Packers screwed everyone again 2 weeks ago. Hey, Artillery Frost, GM to you. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. Ball is Life asks, where are we drafting Troy Franklin next year? Oh man, probably pretty high. Like, I mean, obviously compared to this year, I would guess Where were we taking? Probably ahead of where we were taking Marvin Mims, right? I could see him going in the like 60s to 70s is my like off the rip guess. Like a little bit after where we were taking Sutton this year. But yeah, I don't know. I would obviously have to think about that. Hey, happy Friday, Wake Up Crew. Go AZ Cards. Good morning to you. Appreciate you hanging out. We are coming up. Running back is already in utter ruin. We have James Cook. Let's see what Crutches does. There's at least a couple good wide receiver options here. Yeah, I was going to say, the plan was to take Breece Hall if he was there. If Breece Hall's gone, do we want Waddle on the opposite side of Cook? Do we want Odunze against the Giants? I think I'll take Odunze here. I don't think a nuclear Cook game does not need Waddle to do anything, so I don't want to just like lazily create a game stack that's not actually correlated to anything. Whereas I do think the Giants defense we want to pick on. So I'll take Odunze there. It opens up a quarterback I'm more excited about possibly playing in Caleb versus Tua, Tua will be free and low owned. So I've done a couple Tua teams, or at least one, but it's not necessarily the thing I'm most excited to do here. So we got Odunze. Potential we could take Dart on the other side of that. We could look at Drake May getting access to a game we're excited about. Let's see. I mean, Swift. It's very hard for me to click Swift now at this point in the draft, having faded him all this time. Laporta's a little intriguing. I don't have an absolute ton of him, but it also opens up Goff stuff. And then we just have to have faith that we figure something else out later. This is an interesting spot. Caleb could come back to us. All right, I'm going to do Goff and tell myself this is the last of a tier of tight end. A little concerned that I've boxed myself out. I'm just thinking about what my last pick is going to be, because if I take Goff or Caleb, that means my last pick has to be a wide receiver or running back, and that can be pretty bad at pick 70. So we'll see what happens. We got Cook, Odunze, and Laporta there, but that was kind of an interesting spot to go through. Crutcher says the division road stuff is all accounted for. I lost both Pitt and the Rams on Thursday. Rams, I regret because of the ownership scheme, but Pitt was super sharp. I do remember some of your your survivor sweats there, and it does feel like you've had a bad run out with the chalk getting home, and then some like creative, like low ownership things not panning out the way we'd kind of hoped. Ball's Life, that's 6 games now with 8 or more targets. Are you talking about Laporta there? Sorry, Ball's Life. Good morning, Ball's Life. I appreciate you coming in. I'm sorry, I had to ignore chat there to kind of figure out who I wanted to draft. I was going to say Keon Coleman range 80s to 90s. Was thinking this last night too. Yeah, he's going undrafted in these. So that's. Oh, you're talking about Franklin. Yeah, I mean, he has been such a tough click, and he hasn't really gotten there since week 1. But if you're ever going to get right, it's got to be against the Dolphins here. Franklin near downs. Yeah, that seems right. I'm still barely happy with Franklin as a 17th round best ball pick. Slayton, good morning to you. First of all, thanks for coming in. I would be euphoric if I had some Franklin. I don't know if I got any Franklin. Maybe at the very end. I have one Franklin team. And it's advancing. So there you go. It's actually pretty good. No, it has Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler is my RB3, and Josh Jacobs is my RB2. So it's not actually good. That was fake news, but it is advancing. Laporta, fine. All right, that's good. Yeah, I mean, tight end does feel like if you miss the Laporta line, then you just wait. So that's where I've been at there. I've been pretty comfortable with Demont as a 6th-round pick against the commies in game. It might be getting games might be hitting on cheerleaders by the 3rd quarter. Demont, though, the problem is I agree if you want to do that in the main BR. I mean, he'll be very low, or he'll be a lot lower owned. In the dog bowls here, though, he just went at pick 33, so he is definitely a little steamy here in the dog bowl streets. Kyle Manungai goes at pick 36. Seen him slip a little past that in some of these, but I guess that pick makes sense. Crutches says you might have to get uncomfy at RB late, but there's upside/injury scenarios. Yeah, there's a couple late guys I might take a flyer on. Chris has 16 Franklin shares, and none of them is more than 53 points out of advancing. That's not bad. I mean, 53 points is make a upable in the next 4 or 5 weeks. So you could get there. But yeah, I wish I had taken him a little bit more, like second year breakout stuff. It got a little bit, it just felt like such a crowded room that it was hard to click him late, but I should have mixed him in a little more, I think. Let's see what Wonderkid does. So he takes Tez. Man, I like Tez Johnson a lot. This is a tough call because we have Caleb here and we have Travion, who I'm really like. I feel like Travion is kind of a teensy bit of a bailout for us, being able to get him at running back. I like this quite a bit. I don't think Caleb will make it back to me if Crutches doesn't take him. Because I think NF is just going to click Caleb Loveland. Okay, Crutches takes Loveland anyway. Or excuse me, takes Caleb anyway. So let's do Travion here. Before I take Travion, I just want to think about my next pick. There's a few good wide receiver options here. I don't think I want to pass on Travion, though. So he's someone I've made a stand on this week. I know there's some detractors out there, but we're going to die on Henderson Hill this week, I think. And then Goff already went at pick 40 to the Amon-Ra Monty drafter, so that stack is out. So at this point, we're either going to have to try to back stack it or take somebody unstacked here. Shakir is who I would have taken there. I think I would take Juwan Jennings, although I think we're taking Jennings or Slayton here. Juwan Jennings does give us the Purdy to Mac Jones swap, but man, I really like Darius Slayton. Slayton opposite Odunze is kind of fun. I think of the giant receivers, I'm pretty into Slayton. Juwan Jennings, maybe that should have been the click, but yeah, Crutches windmills in Jennings, which makes me the speed of the pick sometimes is a little bit of a tell. You know what, Crutches, you just got to get me a drink at the open bar. But no, I don't know. I like the game stack there. I know Jennings is going to project a lot better. But if you watch this show, we do IKB the projections most often to our detriment. But we do that from time to time here. But I felt like I will get you a drink paid for by Underdog. Yes, perfect, Crutches. I'm going to hold you to that. But yeah, just thinking about the quarterback stacking options later, again, Jennings might have been better, but I have been trying to get more Slayton. So that's why I made the pick. But certainly opinions can vary on that. All right, I can start going over some people's teams. Let's see what E. Coxer did. Gibbs, Kittle, Olave, Moore, and Woody Marks. So Woody Marks is somebody that I considered as the late running back option if Henderson hadn't have been there. I like Woody Marks quite a bit. Chubb did return to practice, but Marks does seem like more and more involved and is not going to be 100% owned. I think early in the contest he wasn't taken every time, but then once the Chubb injury happened, he started getting pulled up. But I do like him as a late running back there. Crutches, he's got A-Chain, Hall, Diggs, Caleb, and Jennings. So looks like Caleb will be unstacked with Loveland going there at pick 55. But like the team, Caleb, you certainly can take unstacked here. Let's see what Buster's Boys is up to. Puka, Igbuka, Travion, Baker, and Loveland. So I like the Mayfield Igbuka team. This is a nice team here. Let's see, because we know he's sharp. What does he want to do at pick 66 with either a running back or receiver? Big Fudgy friend of the program. He goes JSN, Devontae, Swift, Ken Walker, and Stafford. So he needs a tight end. So we'll get to see a late tight end on that team. Mr. Worth, what does he do? Judkins, Kyron, Dart, MHJ, Bateman, and Tyler Johnson. Yeah, I like this team here. I think that's kind of fun. Bateman's an interesting click at 59. We have seen Bateman. Last year, it felt like Bateman and Flowers would alternate spike weeks. We haven't really seen it from Bateman this year, but we know it's possible. DeMercado, one of those intriguing late running back clicks. He did kind of take over the backfield there. We'll see what the split is, but you could definitely do worse in round 6 than him there. Slayton says the problem with the year 5 Devontae Parker with breakout model is that even Devontae Parker was never heard from again after breakout year 5. Yeah, I feel like the Jennings stuff is a little hard to judge with just like the injuries, but yeah, he definitely there were definitely reasons to have serious concerns about Jennings coming into the year. Buster's Boys gets Parker Washington, which is kind of like the end of that wide receiver tier we were talking about, and now you're in like sketchy territory. Like, this is not where I want to be. He to me is like literally the end of the road. All right, so we're now in, what do we do at QB? Mariota unstacked. We know Mariota has a rushing upside, and they will likely be pushed. We don't know if Justin Fields is starting. JJ McCarthy, same story. A little bit of rushing upside. We think that could be a game where they need him to do some things. I would have loved to have been a Darnold team. That's a little unfortunate that Darnold went there, because I would have liked that quite a bit. So what do we want to do? What do we want to do? Talk to me, Goose. All right. I haven't done McCarthy unstacked. I think I'm just going to risk it that it's Fields. This could be bad, but I'm going to take it. If Fields plays one snap and then doesn't play again, we're going to feel like an idiot, but let's hope they don't do that. Coxter stays on the clock with Purdy / takes Mac Jones. Let's see what NF ends his team with. So yeah, that's, again, I was really hoping to end up with unstacked Darnold, because I had seen the JSN drafter had taken one, but Samuelson, he snaps that up. Wish he had just taken JJ McCarthy to stack with Jefferson, but alas, we cannot force people to do things. Crutch's notes, I wouldn't click Loveland anyway with Komet practicing. That I've been concerned about Komet coming back and it turning into a reverting to more of a split. I know some people doing these are just not worried about Komet at all, saying that you can't put the Loveland genie in the bottle. But I don't know. I kind of align with that he's not the most comfortable click at this point. Slayton is just fine. Just in a large portfolio, I did tiers. If you're doing like 20 or more, then definitely take the plays. It's only 1 point. Yeah, I'm doing like 35, 40-ish. So I'm more in the, I want to have the teams that get my guys and make the stacks I want versus like smoothing anything out. I still have nightmares of starting Fields in his very first game against Cleveland. Yeah, this could be terrible. It could be bad if he plays, and he might not play. So there's a lot of risk to that. But then again, he's not drafted every time. You don't have to stack him And if he sits completely, we will sub into someone in the late game, which will probably be Brissett. I think that's a late game, assuming the swap order. I don't know. I think I'd actually have priority over Coxer, so I could end up with Mac Jones instead of Brissett. But I will get somebody if he doesn't play a snap. So, again, assuming that game doesn't go to overtime or something crazy, and then all the games have started. All right, so let's go over everyone's team. Coxer, he ends the team with Purdy, so he does the Purdy Kittle stack or the Mac Jones Kittle stack, assuming that works out for him. Like the team there. Crutches, he ends the team with Njoku. Njoku as your free tight end, the last tight end pick, does feel like the room was slightly asleep because I've seen Njoku get drafted in most of these. So since the Fannin missed practice, so a little surprised that he was the stone last tight end. But when you kind of look at how it lined up, Johnson here with Dart, people building some stacks. But I definitely would be clicking Njoku over Schultz for my money. Let's see what Big Fudgy did. He went JSN, Adams, Swift, Walker, Staffy, and the Schultz pick. We saw Buster's boy. He ended the team with Parker Washington. I still really like that click there as a last round click. And then Mr. Worth, again, he ends with Dart and Johnson. So that was a fun draft. Appreciate all of you drafting here. I guess let's just roll it into another. Let's see what it's at. If it's not, and we're off. We're off. Okay, so there you go. There we go. All right. DBQ1. We're at the 5 hole. And Crutches is in this one again. Let me get the timestamps rolling. 47 minutes. All right. Appreciate all of you hanging out. I mean, these streams are so much fun. I hope you're all having a great Friday. If you have any just general fantasy questions, anything, feel free to ask them. The chat, feel free to answer them if you want. I don't mind that whatsoever. If people just want to chat what they have going into the week. Otherwise, we're just going to keep on rolling some of these BRs. Probably do maybe one more dog bowl. We'll see how this one goes. If we're feeling good after it, I am likely to not do very many more dog bowls. Kind of winding down. I like my teams the way they are. I mean, again, to be candid with you all, my big stands early in the week were Travion and Monungai. I feel very good about the Travion stand. Not so good about the Monungai stand, but that's why we draft early. Slade says, you messed around with the fourth quarter at all? Who got me hooked on them? It's fun to draft 18-man. You know what? I did 1-3Q and then remembered just how long the 12-person 18-round drafts take. And I'm like, this is a spring and summer activity for me. I cannot shift from a 5-minute BR to a 40-minute one. So no, I have not done them. I definitely think there is an edge to them. I'm going to do another James Cook team from the 5. Let's see if we can't build this one a little differently than the last one there. We do see Dowdle go ahead of Cook. I think, but for the Cook injury, I would have a very hard time doing that, but I'm going to play this like Cook as a full go. But yeah, I think there's an edge to the fourth quarter, to the quarterly contest, because I don't think people put as much work into them. If you want to get into like Vegas totals and who to target, I think most people go as far as like, I'm going to avoid buys, avoid stacking bye weeks. And that's like the most thought they put into it. So I think it's a game if you want to like, they're not even that big in edges. They just require like a modicum of work and you'll be ahead of like 90% of the field. So I'm definitely into those as a concept. I just don't have the time to actually like do what I'd want to do. Ecoxer, you heard it here first. The winner will have Tez Johnson this week. Tez Johnson was free when this contest opened. Ecoxer in the good old days. In the heady days of Monday, you could get him as your last click. And then people looked at the projections and he projects very well. Yeah, winning my Monday Tez team. Absolutely. I think I have like one Monday Tez team. I also think I have one Monday like Godwin team that hopefully is a Tez team, because I don't think Tez got drafted on that team in that draft. But not as much Tez as I wish I had, considering liking that game as a fun game to stack up. I guess New England has a tough defense, but we've seen Tampa Bay kind of be a little bit defense proof as far as like getting fantasy relevance going. So Josta 29. Good morning to you. I took a lot of early wide receiver tight end when I could get running. You must mean running back tight end when I could get Tez in the 6th. Yes. See, you saw the writing on the wall, and that's like one of the good parts about getting it in early, right? And that's why we do it. Like you went in early and got Tez in the 6th. I went in early and got Monungai in the 2nd. Like same concept, just your idea was worked this week, but it's worth trying because you're not able to get those teams. Yeah, Baker, Rico, Demont, Igbuka, Tez, Fannin. Yeah, like that's pretty good. Like that's a really fun team, and Fannin will probably just turn into Njoku in that team. Like if you have it ranked, Fannin doesn't play, and that's also like could be a little bit of a bump on Njoku. I was surprised to see him go as the very last pick. Oh, QB. Okay, a lot of early QB tight end. Got it. Yeah, I guess QW is next to each other. I should have figured that out. All right, let's see. Crutches got Puka. What do we want to do? Man. Yeah, Devontae is who I would have liked. Breece Hall. Gosh, I don't want to build the same team and just reach for a Dunze. This range is grim. This is so grim. When you don't like Nico Collins, this range is really unpleasant, I have to say. His range can be really unpleasant here. So Kittle goes. Gosh. I don't trust Breece Hall. Maybe that's dumb. Do we do Waddle? I Cook Waddle. I don't really love Cook Waddle. I don't feel like that actually correlates at all. All right, I'll do Flowers. I don't think I have Flowers in a dog bowl yet. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I think I would have taken Kittle if he was there. I would have taken Devontae if he was there. So we will try. It is okay. Well, yeah, I don't even like Nico Batter. Okay, well, see, I feel better about not liking the range because I really don't. Like, none of that felt great. None of that felt great there. Ecoxer asked Crutches, how much A-Chain do you have? Feels like every draft you take him. Crutches, early week I had a ton, took more JSN and wide receiver over him. Yeah. Yeah, I like, I mean, to me, the first round, there's like a little tier break here at Puka. Like those first 7 I like, and then after that, it's like I probably take Amon Ra at 8. And then in my heart of hearts, I'm probably like Judkins at 9. If I was truly ranking them, I don't think that's where they go. Where is Judkins ADP in this? Yeah, 12. I weirdly have gotten a lot of early picks. Like I have not drafted from the back half of the board very often. But Judkins has been like kind of a staple of that area of the board for me. But yeah, I have not. The RNG has put me at the front of the board a lot this week, just not at the 101. All right, well, Waddle came all the way back. We're simply not going to pass Waddle here, so we'll do that. I'm just windmill that pick in. Waddle at pick 29 is very nice. I'm not going to forego that. So do I go out of my way to take Cook and Waddle? No. I would be more interested in Allen Waddle because I think an Allen nuke needs the Dolphins to show life, and so I like Waddle there. A Cook nuke, the Dolphins can be pretty bad. I mean, if you want to like really galaxy brain it and say Cook is semi banged up, so maybe he stays in the game longer if the Dolphins are in. I think that's kind of cope. But who knows? I hope Cook is healthy because I have a lot of Cook this week. All right, let's see. Oh, by the way, let's see who's in the room. Boomer Wins is in all these drafts, but I don't know who that is. Casey Pollock is in the Matic Discord, but I always forget their username. Karuk won the first Dog Bowl, I think. Dog Bowl 1, if I'm not mistaken. Crutches is in here at the 8, or excuse me, at the 7. And Coxer is in at the 12. So, oh man, need one to fill a fullback dive. I normally would do that, Joel. I like filling those side contests. I like the fullback dive, the victory formation, the third and long. But I don't want to abandon the dog bowl midstream or try to multi-table, because that's a terrible experience for the viewer. Multi-tabling. Hey, the what? Good morning to you with the new purple and blue peace sign. Appreciate you so much, the what. Thanks for coming in, hanging out today. All right, let's see. The turn comes, and what does Coxer do? All right, just filled, says Joel. Okay, well, hopefully someone in here has been trying to fill that and got that. So appreciate the shout. Feel free to shout like contest fills if you want. It does not bother me at all. So Coxer takes everything I love and takes Henderson there at pick 37. So he goes Kyron, McBride, Debo, and Hendo there. I like the team for the right side of the board standards. And now it wraps back around. So let's look at what's left. Picking up the pieces. My God, it's bad. It's already bad. Thinking about quarterbacks, we don't have anything that naturally makes sense aside from Tua, which of course is not the end of the world. If we did need to make a Tua team, we might get a shot at Manungai again. I just think I have enough. I have a ton of Manungai here. What do we want to do? All right, I have concepts of a plan, and this might be the worst plan you've ever seen. We're going to take Khalil Shakir, so we're going to fade the Dolphins. We're going to go 3 wide receiver, and we're going to try something. We are going to try something here. So, give me 1 second. I'm trying to look something up before I do something really stupid. But again, we didn't love this team, so we're going to try to do something a little squirrely here. All right, let's see. All right, yeah, we're going to do it. We are going to do it. But do you have any with the Miami game stack and Flowers? Yeah. The Zay Flowers is not my favorite. Not my favorite, but maybe that's the one-off piece you need. I do say that, like, again, sometimes you get these wide receivers attached to running quarterbacks, and they that might actually be better than stacking them, because if the running quarterback is throwing a lot of touchdowns, and they might not be acting like a rushing quarterback, like they're just going to have like a pocket passer stat line, in which case you might not need the quarterback attached to them. I don't think I'm saying that the most articulately way, but I think you kind of get what I'm saying. Man, Kincaid, we just say we take all of Buffalo minus Josh Allen. We say we say Josh Allen is not what you need, but all of their pieces goes off. Probably not. That might be a little bit too much. The Mitch Trubisky legendary outing. There are some good options at tight end and quarterback. I don't know if I want to stick to the plan or not here. There goes Kincaid, and there goes Caleb. All right, I'm gonna do this. I have to decide what order I want to do this stupid play in, but I'm gonna do it. We're gonna give Greg Dulcich an ADP, and we're gonna take Tua with our last pick. I'm taking Tua at the end, because I don't think I guess I have to watch out for the A-chain drafter. If Karuk takes Tua, I'm gonna be really disappointed in myself. I don't know. I thought maybe someone would get really galaxy brain to take Greg Dulcich. We're going to just stack the Dolphins-Bills game here. You could definitely argue I should have just taken Tua, and if someone takes Dulcich, then so be it. But I have not seen Tua go to anybody, whereas a bunch of people need tight ends, and somebody might decide to scroll. I don't know. All right, Karuk takes Goff. So I again, it would take somebody now watching this and just sniping me for no reason to take Tua, because I think that would just be it. Tua unstacked would be pretty bad, I think. So I haven't seen anyone take Greg Dulcich like at all, and we've seen McDaniel get his tight end involved quite a bit. You know, his he ran 47% of routes, but at 25% targets per route run. I don't know. We're going to try something. You know, we didn't love the team from the jump, but at least it does overstack a game. I don't I don't think this is great, but I did kind of have this idea in my head and wanted to get one of these teams down. So we'll try it. If it wins, it's going to win by like 20 points. And otherwise, we're probably going to see this team like, you know, very, very far to the left. Very, very far to the left. So we'll see. We'll see. Justice says, I think this team without Tua is dead, but this team without Dulcich is just less dead. Yeah. I mean, this team definitely does not need Dulcich. I mean, maybe I could take a tight end that projects better than that. But if Samuelson, just don't do anything stupid here. He takes Mariota. All right, good. We're going to get our guy. We're going to build this bad team. I like that we were sweating Tua. So we tried something. Here. You never know. The Dolphins do sometimes play Buffalo tight. I mean, I'm not trying to do this to just like waste like money and entries. I do kind of like some of these team overstacks, and nobody is doing this. Like, nobody is going to have Tua, Waddle, and Dulcich, probably because it's not great. And they're showing Dulcich with a projection of 0.9 or something like that. I don't think that's right. I think we're under projecting Greg Dulcich in this McDaniel scam offense. So we'll see. We'll see. If this team wins, it'll be legendary. But I have my doubts. I certainly have my doubts. But again, division game in Miami. Sometimes they can show some signs of life. Let's get Tua on the team. And now let's go over some teams that are probably slightly better constructed here. Yeah, FK Coolers asked, what if it's a sidekick user from having PTSD? Yeah, I have a ton of, I was not a sidekick user, but I do have a ton of Tua here. Jake says Daniel's not going on IR. That's great news. That's great news. It seems like the elbow injury was not quite as catastrophic as they may have thought there. So I'll pull the board up. People can see what's going on. For the audio listeners, this team is Cook, Flowers, Waddle, Shakir, Dulcich, and Tua. So we're going to go for a micro-owned Dulcich. We're just going to hope a Tua double stack gets there, you know, pretty thin, but it's going to be very, very, very low-owned team that you see here. E. Coxer, what did he do? He went Kyron, McBride, Debo, Hendo, Darnold, and Darius Break the Slayton. I like that team there. Again, we're seeing a lot of unstacked Darnold this week, which of course makes sense, being that the only true stacking partner is JSN, with Shaheed off, with Torrey Horton showing up in the midweek injury report, and people not loving AJ Barner, although, you know, you could do Barner, Darnold at the end. All right, let's see what other people did. Jordan, are you in here? No, that's not you. Jordan says, anytime you can stack Bucky and Rashad against the best run D in the league, you got to do it. Yeah, Patton here, the No Badger, takes Bucky and Rashad White. So we're going to see a Q tag swap for Bucky here to somebody. I don't think this is terrible. I don't know why you would do this. nothing's going to open up that will make a third round pick worth it at this point in the week when we know Bucky is not going to play. So I again, I very rarely say something's just outright bad. I think this is outright bad. I would not be doing this. I think it's better to stack the Dolphins and Greg Dulcich than take Bucky Irving in the third. All right, Crutches, what does he do? He goes Puka Devontae, so he goes with the Rams double and does, of course, get Stafford, Etienne, Monty, and Cade Otton. Makes a ton of sense there. I like the Rams double as part of a bigger portfolio. I think that makes sense to have one or two teams like that. Kind of a fun combo there. With, as we see, no bring back. You don't necessarily have to bring back in these contests. Sometimes we can end up a little bit bring back brained. In fact, he took Monty over Jennings. So he had the opportunity to do the bring back, forewent that, but Monty is kind of the end of a tier of running back. So of course I'm sure that played into it somewhat there. Karuk, he's won this thing before. We know he's good at 12s. A-Chain, Kittle, Olave, Manungai, Goff, and Kyle Williams. I took Kyle Williams once and got made fun of it, and so I stopped taking him. Getting good coach speak, but just might not see the field and the routes as much as we hope. We'll see what happens with Booty out, or seeming trending to be out this week. But one of the, again, you get to last round wide receiver. Look at these list of names: Jerry Jeudy, Kendrick Bourne, Kyle Williams, Sterling Shepard. I mean, my God, it is very, very, very hard to end your team with a wide receiver and feel good about it there. Darius Slayton was kind of the last helicopter out of Saigon that Ecoxer got. So again, another fun draft. Appreciate all of you doing these. It's been an hour, 6 minutes, and I don't even know if I've asked, but if you can drop a like, drop a sub, helps so much. Really, really do appreciate y'all doing that and hanging out this morning. I'm going to shift gears entirely, and we'll do a Wildcat. So if anyone wants to get in these are the $3 contest. We're waiting for 3 much more bankroll friendly price point. If anyone wants to hop in and do a Wildcat, they are more than welcome. All right, and we're off and running. We're off and running there. We were rewarded with the 1 hole. All right, we got our friend Jordan. He did get in this one at the 6. And I don't think I see anyone else, but if you're in here, please let me know. It's a spinning football emoji if you hit the I don't think that's true, but please find out. Please find out. That would be fantastic. Definitely appreciate the likes. All right, let me get the timestamps going. We're at 1 hour and 8 minutes in. Wildcat 1. Yeah, last stream of the week. I know Pete has a ton of content today, so it's a nice content day for those of you out there. I think today, it's like either today or tomorrow, the baby Maddock is here, so we will be missing Davis, of course, but super excited for him. Big congratulations to the whole Maddock family. I know he's going to be an awesome dad, but we'll definitely miss Davis in the content streets because I do enjoy all of his shows, and so definitely going to be a little lighter in the watching streaming for the next couple weeks. Without that, I think it's going to be kind of a big hole. So all right, so we're in here at the 1. We take CMC. Jordan says it is, I swear. I think if you like your own stream, the algo gets mad. So I'm scared to do. I know Twitter's like that. If you like your own tweet, the algo buries you. Even though I think you should like your own tweet, you got to stand by your work. But yeah, my understanding is that if you do that, it's actually bad. Don't know if YouTube's the same way. All right, so Baby J, he takes Cook and Dowdle. Really like the Cook Dowdle start myself. I think I'm going to queue up Judkins already. I'll queue up A-Chain, because if A-Chain comes to me, we're not going to pass that. So we got CMC, Devontae Adams. I'd love more CMC Adams teams. Adams does have a tendency to go ahead of ADP sometimes. It could be a little wonky around here. I think these picks ADPs can be slightly fragile compared to where they actually go. So there goes A-Chain. Yeah, my preferred build would be Judkins Adams. I've got absolutely no problem with taking Justin Jefferson, but I don't want all my picks to just be going by ADP. So we have historically seen Adams light up the Niners. You know, the nose for the end zone bit is now breached, contained. Everybody is in on it. You know, Jefferson Henry is a natural game stack for anyone that wants that. I think I'll leave that for others, and I'll just do Judkins Adams here. Kind of just IKB this particular team. Yeah, Patrick, Rashi, Xavier, Maddock. Exactly. Exactly. I got to throw in an Andy for Andy Reid there somewhere, but we're directionally accurate here with the cavalcade of Chiefs in the name. But all right, so Baby J, he starts with Cook and Dowdle. See how he lands the plane. So both of us started running back there. Interestingly enough, we have two drafters who don't have a running back yet. We'll see if Paul rectifies that or if we're going to have some kind of inversely built teams here. Because at this point, it's just, yeah, you're down to Kyron, which just doesn't feel amazing. You know, the Blake Corum stuff is just annoying, although it still seems like it's just like a drive by drive. Like Corum just gets some drives, and if they score on that drive, you know, we kind of vacillate like, oh, Blake Corum's a thing. It's like, well, no, he just got the drive. Patrick, Rashi, Xavier, Yamamoto, Maddock. I am missing the Yamamoto reference. My Yamamoto reference is from StarCraft, and I don't think that's what you're referring to, Mr. Binniger. But I don't believe Davis was a big StarCraft guy. All right, so we've got Dodgers pitcher. Yep, sorry. There we go. I forgot the Dodgers bit. Poor Davis. Pete just unleashed the Davis as a Dodger fan bit. Yeah, I did not get to watch much of the World Series. It was tended to be on a little late for the Candles house here with the little guy, but apparently I missed like the best World Series in living history. All right, so we got CMC, Judkins, Devontae. You know, I don't think I have much MHJ, and I feel like I should. So let's do MHJ, Drake, May. You know, it maybe it's a touch chasey, but like MHJ is better than pretty much most of these where we're going into the depths. I do like Garrett Wilson, but I don't need to force Wilson Judkinsy stuff. For going undrafted, I'm pretty into Garrett Wilson. My preference would be to just end this team with Hunter Henry. We'll see if the room gives that to us. We'll see what Jay Paul takes as the last one who really needs a tight end there. Brian says, Yankee fan, so I hated both teams in the World Series, but Game 7 is one of the best games I've seen. Yeah, I know. I missed a really good series because I really like baseball. I just haven't had the time to devote to following it like I used to, which is a shame because I do really love it. I live in Baltimore, so I'm an adopted O's fan, and they were fun a couple of years ago, but this past season you could get tickets for around $6, which was kind of nice. You go to a game and it's, you know, have your own section. I think I overcorrelated on accident. Could be what you need. Let's see what you did, Baby J. Cook, Dowdle, Laporta, Waddle, Goff, Olave. That's fine. You've got three games. You got Cook versus Waddle, you got Laporta and Goff together, and you got Dowdle versus Olave. I mean, this is the most paint by numbers team you could do. I like it. You don't have to go crazy. It makes sense. It makes sense. All right, we're going to take Hunter Henry, barring someone going too tight end for some reason. But you can never discount. People do dumb stuff. All right, let's see. Let's see what this guy does. All right, he takes Diggs. And John Trier, the no Badger, takes Rashad White. So we'll take Hunter Henry. So this team ends up being Drake May, CMC, Judkins, Adams, Marvin Harrison, Hunter Henry. Seems like a good team to me. All right, let's do one more Wildcat, and then I'll try to hop into a DBQ. Let's give people. Oh, gosh darn it! All right, it filled. I like when these have room, so some of y'all can get in them. But again, we have the one hole. So we'll try to draft a fun team from the one, although we did just literally draft from the one hole in the last draft. I wish I could be going over my eliminator teams, but there are none left. Last eliminator team perished valiantly last week. Could not overcome the loss of Kraft and Scatabo, but it got close. We put in a good effort, but again, I was talking yesterday. I still don't know if I'm going to max that contest or just not do it. I think to me, there's just no in between. Like you either don't play it, you play one entry and you're the one entry guy, and you hope you're one of those teams that, that Patrick Donovan puts on Twitter. Like, okay, there's 9 people who single bulleted who are still alive. You hope you're one of them, or you max it. But I kind of middled it, and it was just bad. It's just bad. So you have to decide. Definitely fun. Definitely if the channel keeps growing and we're still doing content, I'll probably max it because I think it really is a good source of content. So that could be, that could be it, but we'll see. Definitely a little bit of a frustrating contest for a lot of people though. So I'm curious to see what most people think after having gone through it, because a lot of highs at the beginning, a lot of really fun stuff. But then, when it's week 10 and people who put 150 entries now have none left, and are look at the cost of doing it, I think you're going to see a lot of people kind of reassess if they want to max it again. A limb should be the flagship contest. They should also do some cheaper limbs. They should make a $3 limb that would fill in an hour. People would love it. Oh, crutches. Yeah, more like 150 and none left week 8. I will be maxing. I was going to ask, are you hopping back in? It's terrible experience. 10 out of 10 would do again. All right, let's do a Lamar Jackson team here. I don't think a Lamar Henry is great. I don't think it's great. I think it's pretty bad. All right, so we'll do Lamar and Jefferson here. If you want to ever do Lamar Henry, do it in something small field. I think, or once in a portfolio of a big tournament. I think it's too thin because he just doesn't catch passes at all. 1 million to first next year, man. That would get the people going for sure. But yeah, it was an expensive one. I feel like if it was $5, you would have a lot more people maxing it. But then obviously the prize pools would be different, and the size has to be what it was for the numbers to work out, I'm sure. Yeah, they're definitely onto something though with the eliminator for sure. Problem with the elim was it was so hard to fire drafts early. Everyone waited for max information. Yeah, I did find myself sitting in a lot of elim lobbies that didn't fill. Same with sprint. The sprint was the worst for that. I could see them kiboshing the sprint next. I have not seen anybody post their sprint teams online. Nobody cares about the sprint. With all due respect to Jewish McCaffrey, no shade meant to him, but truly during this year, I have not seen one person tweet about it, talk about their sprint exposures. Nothing whatsoever. So maybe people just wait for the playoffs to hit because nothing matters. But no even sprint advance rate talk. It's just nobody's into that one. I will pair Flowers with Lamar if the room lets me, which the room let me. That was very nice of the room. So we'll take Flowers. Gosh, I hate to be the broken Travion record, but I feel like this is the hill I'm going to die on. And I'm just going to be IKBing it. This is a week where one player is probably going to make or break my week. We're just going to have weeks like that. I just can't bring myself to click an 100%, like an 80% owned Breece Hall over like a 30 to 40% owned Henderson, when I think that this could be Henderson breakout week, when I also feel like Breece Hall could, I mean, you could get like angry Breece Hall and he just goes nuts and he sucks it up. Or you could have Breece Hall's like, oh, guess, no, my ankle feels a little funny after the first quarter. I think I'm good. I think he's a professional and he'll play, but I don't think he's very happy. Crutcher says it'll definitely be bigger. They won't run sprint and marathon. They'll probably max elim the second flagship. I guess 500K at first. Yeah, I think they must know that the sprint is just not right. I mean, they tinkered with it. It was like, what was it last year? Was it $50? I think it was like a $50 tournament, so it was very expensive. And people were like, oh, that's why. And then they made it cheaper this year, and people still didn't fill it. Yeah, and they were like desperately running promos at the end, and it's still overlaid quite a bit. So yeah, I feel like they're just gonna cede that to like drafters, because people here didn't want to do it. Yeah, they basically announced it. They were just yeah. I think you're right. They just didn't want to give up all the turf to drafters there, and paid that as kind of like a customer retention or acquisition, promo almost. I wonder if you could go smaller with just a 2-person final. I don't know. I don't know. I do think it's funny that it ends in 3, but I'm sure the math has to math. But it is kind of funny. But I imagine, isn't that like to eliminate that one person, wouldn't they have to make the field like 1/3 as big or something? Like, isn't it basically like 3 brackets? Like, we just don't know who's in them. It's like a March Madness bracket, but with 3. I'm gonna take did Njoku go? No, I'll take Njoku. We'll do Njoku. He's going to be solo owned in the Wildcat here. So this team is CMC, Lamar, Jefferson, Flowers, Hendo, and a hopefully low owned Njoku in this contest. Final being 3, good. You're guaranteed tons anyway. Yeah, the 3-person final never bothered me. It just looked kind of funny on the like on the org chart. Could see them doubling down and even doing a second elim like halfway to next season, if you could structure it that way. Yeah, again, I think you'd have to make the contest 1/3 as big, because you basically have to eliminate like one of the 3 brackets, like just thinking logically, for it to funnel down into one. So it would have to be like way smaller. I don't know. Or you would have to change the advance structure like at the beginning, but then you wouldn't be able to hold the like 50%, chopping 50% of the field. I'm just like logically thinking that through. All right, let's hop into one more DBQ. I think we'll do one more DBQ. Oh, waiting for 6. Yikes. This might take a minute because we could be off cycle with the rest of people. All right, I'm going to hop into another, waiting for 5. Do I want to try to do a Wildcat while this waits, or stick around for this to fill? I don't want to do a Wildcat and then miss the next cycle. All right, waiting for 3. All right, I think we'll just get this filled. So, but yeah, appreciate all of you. Let me get the timestamp in. 1 timestamp for this one. DBQ3. All right. Yeah, but yeah, we're waiting for 2 here. Again, if you can, drop a like, drop a sub. We try not to hold the room over a barrel for likes for additional drafts, because y'all know I'm going to draft anyway. But if you could, it'd be awesome. We'll of course be back on Monday. We'll recap everything. Hopefully it is a victory Monday. See some of you guys at the top of the leaderboard would absolutely be awesome. We can go over some teams. We can start looking a little more at advance rates. They're going to start meaning more and more every week. I'm sure after Monday we'll have a better idea of how many teams we're going to be getting through. And yep, it's going to be awesome. Oh my gosh, we're at the 4 again. I just can't get a team on the right side of the board. So we got Crutches at the 2, Mr. Worth at the 3, myself at the 4, Easy at the 5. Oh my goodness gracious. We got Big Fudgy at the 7, Tubins at the 8, and E. Coxer, who I think has always been on the right side of the board in these drafts today. Not going to complain about early picks, but I'm kind of complaining because I do want some like Judkins teams, and I'm not going to take Judkins at pick 4. I think that is shark jumping a little bit there. That said, this could be my last dog bowl of the week, so we'll have to see how we want to end things there. All right. All right, yes. Pete goes live at 1 p.m. today with JM to win, and then Utica, and then is the show with the Badge Bros, which is always fun, and that's when the Deposit Kingdom contest will launch around 3. So make sure to get in and watch those. My first DBQ picking left of the 108. All right, nice. So you at least had a little bit of run good there. I think I'm going to take Dowdle over Cook because I've done Cook on all of these drafts here. Let's just do one Dowdle team, one for the road. This way Easy can tell me I'm a fish in that I've lost 1.5 points of projection. So that's going to be good. We'll give Easy a little treat. He can make fun of me there. So he takes JSN. So Cook is plummeting down the board. My goodness gracious. Big Fudgy gets him at 7. So we take Dowdle at the 4. Crutches takes A-Chain at the 2. So Crutches not escaping he takes A-Chain every time. Allegations in this draft. Love to see that. Mr. Worth gets Gibbs at the 3. And I take Dowdle at the 4. We're off and running. I don't think we have anything too intriguing. Again, I think my exposures are be interested to see. I can show my dog bowl exposures after. I'm trying to pull them up on another tab here. Drafts completed. They just have a tendency to not actually update unless you hit refresh 33 times. And then it will say, oh, you actually wanted to see the current exposure, not what it was 12 hours ago. Okay. All right, I'll pop over to this for 1 second. So as you can see, I am going to need Travion Henderson to be a thing this week. I was taking a ton of Garrett Wilson. I thought he'd be a riser. He hasn't risen. This Minun guy is all at very bad price. I don't know what the return policy is. I'm going to be messaging Numi, Brett, and Hope, seeing what I can do there. Ton of James Cook, Caleb Odunze, Johnson, Dowdle, Loveland. So that's kind of like the core, what's going to make or break my week. Again, wish this Minun guy was spread out a little bit, but yeah, I have. This is including one playbook team, so it's a little wonky. And then, do I have any? Yeah, like I have one Derrick Henry team. Like it's just been kind of weird. The way that my picks have all broken out, mostly on the left side of the board. You could see I have a lot of Cook, and you couldn't do that from the right side. So we got Dowdle here. We are up, and we are now at that god awful portion of the board that we talked about previously. And I think we take Rome Odunze here again. We've seen Waddle slip. Some people are worried about that. This does, again, opens up Caleb. Maybe this ends up being a Caleb team. Waddle immediately goes to Mr. Worth at the 3. And now let's see what Crutches does. We'll never know if Crutch would have gone A-Chain Waddle and built a Tua team. My instincts say no, Crutches would not have done that. But you never know. Maybe he was inspired by that beautiful Dolphins overstack we built. We'll see. I think my viewer count dropped after people saw that Dolphins team. But you never know. You never know if that's the team that gets there. It's going to be pretty sweet. Chris Olave goes. That's definitely someone I would have targeted to potentially build a game stack there. We've got May. We've got Dart. Debo is intriguing as a sort of last man standing. I have a metric ton of Garrett Wilson, but maybe we'll do a Drake May team. We'll do a Drake May team here, I think. So let's see what happens. We might end up with access to, a Pop Douglas kind of situation. We'll see what the room hands to us. We'll see what the room hands to us. But I do think you are not going to be wrong picking on Tampa Bay's defense there. And so there's some fun clicks. We'll see if the room decides to let us have any fun or not. But again, once Breece Hall went, then the running back situation feels dicey. I feel somewhat vindicated that Crutches didn't take a running back in this range because I don't really like the running backs in this range anymore. So Garrett Wilson, again, I thought Garrett Wilson was going to rise into the second round when the contest opened, and instead he's actually dropped, and you can get him in the late third. So I like the Garrett Wilson pick a lot. If he ends up with 15 targets, I would not be shocked, no matter who the quarterback is. And we don't want that for some reason. I know it's a combination of Cleveland having a tough defense and the quarterback play being not good, but there is something to be said for a just monstrous projectable volume with someone who I think is hyper talented as well. So I like him a lot. He is one of my linchpins on the week. We'll see if that holds up or not. All right, Coxer on the clock. He goes Judkins McBride. I think that's how you open the last team from the 12. I can't recall, but Coxer goes Judkins McBride Addison there. Like that. Mathology was pretty big on Addison when we talked a couple days ago on the Flannelverse show. Boomer wins, takes Travion, who of course I would have taken at 45 to pair with May, but alas, Boomer wins. The Boomers win yet again. They made housing unaffordable. They offshored all our jobs, and now they take Travion Henderson. That's the third strike here. What they've done to our generation. So Boomer wins again. We're gonna have to come up with a plan B at running back there, and all the plans are now looking pretty god awful. So we'll see. This could easily be a 3 wide receiver team that we end up left with. Coxer takes Monty. Makes a ton of sense. I've warmed up to him as the week went on, but too late to get much exposure in the dog bowls. Ken Walker goes. He was kind of the last reasonable option there. There goes JMO. Caleb looks like he's going to have made it back to me, so we missed out on that. Let's see what Easy does. Let's see, what do I guess Easy does? I think he just takes Wandale. He takes Jennings. He takes Jennings. All right. I'm going to take Tez Johnson here and go for this game stack. I don't think Tez Johnson's going to come back to me. I know Wandale, Shakir, and Moore might project a shade better, but I do kind of want this to be a game stack, this Drake May game. I want Drake May to get pushed. I think Tez Johnson is live to be the pusher, and in the ideal world, we can get some kind of good tight end and skill position player to round this team out. But we will see. Mr. Worth, he snaps off Wandale, which makes sense with Dart. And now what does Crutches do? He takes Khalil Shakir. I've seen a lot of 3 wide receiver teams from crutches this week. So that continues here. Again, he now has Shakir opposite A-Chain. And now he will need a quarterback and a tight end to round it out. I mean, you got to think it's going to be a Dulcich Tua team. That'd be a pretty funny bit. That would be a pretty funny bit if he did Dulcich Tua, but I doubt that. Yeah, he's a good player, so he takes Cade Otton, who's actually a reasonable selection. I think doing anything other than Hunter Henry here is silly. I know Tyrone Tracy, flop lag, and I'm kind of intrigued by the Tyrone Tracy flop lag. I'm gonna Tyrone Tracy flop lag. I don't know. That could have been bad. Hunter Henry was staring me in the face, but we were excited to take Tracy last week. I think some of the snap share with Singletary stuff was that Tracy got dinged up. Chicago's run defense is not good. That was a little bit of a tough click. Easy snaps off Henry there. I think there's enough late tight ends that I'm okay clicking. We could certainly live to regret that now having an unstacked May, but I had more faith in my ability to find a late tight end than I do a late running back. And could be like DeMercado, could be Woody Marks, but there was no guarantee those guys would even get back to me as options. My only problem is I will now be the last tight end to pick. Vindep and Boomer Wins need tight ends. Theo Johnson, Ertz, Juwan Johnson, and Joe. So I'll get somebody live there. I don't hate this, actually. I think this team ended up pretty good, depending on the tight end we end up with. I think this is more than okay. Parker Washington goes there, pick 58. I like the pick. Let's see how Ecoxer lands his plane. He still needs a quarterback, and he just took Slayton as his last receiver. So he goes Judkins, McBride, Addison, Monty, Slayton, and we'll see what he does with his last pick here. So Juwan Johnson off the board. Theo Johnson off the board as a possible tight end for us. I don't think I would have gone the Theo Johnson route on this team. Demario Douglas goes. I had thought if I took May, I could potentially get Douglas, but that's just doesn't happen. Douglas doesn't make it to the left side of the board. So Ecoxter takes Darnold. Again, we see the unstacked Darnold thing going. He does that instead of the McCarthy. We've seen this a few times now. Again, people are just okay with the unstacked stuff this week. So his team ends up being Judkins, McBride, Addison, Monty, Slayton, and Darnold. So it doesn't force the stack with Brissett or JMC. Zach Ertz goes to Vindep. I liked the Zach Ertz pick. I certainly would put him on the short list of late tight end clicks for me. I do like both Juwan Johnson and Njoku. I am pretty happy with either one. Don't really have a huge preference. So I imagine Samuelson. So he takes Fannin. Interesting. So I don't know if he's trying to stay on the clock or if he's just happy with Fannin. I think I'm going to just stick with my take that Juwan Johnson's actually going to absorb a lot of the Shaheed stuff. And I do have Dowdle here. Again, don't need Dowdle to get pushed. I don't know. Should I just take Njoku? This is a tough call. I think I'm going to stick with my guns and take Juwan Johnson here. So that will wrap up that team. It ends up being, Ramsey Perry chimes in. It's too late for me, Ramsey. I'm too late. I took Juwan Johnson. It was a tough call, though. It was a tough call. I don't know. Part of me wishes I'd taken Njoku there. One is obviously going to be better. All right, so this team ends up being Dowdle, Odunze, Drake May, Tez Johnson, Tyrone Tracy, and Juwan Johnson. So maybe Johnson and Johnson get a little synergy there. All right, let's see what Crutches did. A-Chain, Diggs, Olave, Shakir, Otten, and then Mariota. So Mariota in a good game environment, unstacked. I think that's fine. He can run. And the Lions are live to just spread the ball around. So I like Mariota as a last-round quarterback. Click, Mr. Worth, Gibbs, Waddle, Dart, Wandale, Loveland, and Marks. So he gets the Woody Marks, a last-round click. Like the team that you assembled there. Easy. Let's see what Easy and his sheets put together. JSN, Breece Hall, Rashad White, Juwan Jennings, Hunter Henry, and Broccoli Purdy there. So he may, end up Q-tagging over to probably Mac Jones. Makes sense, stacking with Jennings there. I took some Brock Purdy early, and that will probably all convert to Mac Jones. Big, fudgy, Cook, Adams, McMillan, MHJ, Andrews, and McCarthy. So again, we see another unstacked quarterback with some little bit of rushing upside there. Tubins, early qualifier, Amon-Ra, Justin Jefferson, Sam Laporta, Ken Walker, and Goff. So he does the Laporta, Amon-Ra, Goff thing. So I know Brian the Goober liked this one quite a bit there, that pick, and stays on the clock with Bucky. And then Ecoxer, Judkins, McBride, Addison, Monty, Slayton, and the unstacked Arnold. Ramsey says, Hayden Winks gives Cleveland higher tight end use than New Orleans by about 5 points. That is fair. That is certainly fair. And we have seen Dylan Gabriel hyper target his tight ends. I guess for me, it's that we don't know what life post Shaheed is going to look like. Olave was looked at a lot less than Shaheed was, surprisingly enough. I feel like Juwan Johnson, again, we've seen him utilized kind of as a downfield threat. I could see a lot of those Shaheed targets funneling to Juwan Johnson. So I'm wondering if that, I'm just trying to buy low, and that could be wrong because we are buying low on Njoku because he's a guy that's not taken every draft. Again, I think a lot of the fan and stuff will swap to him. So I think some of the ownership discounts going to be kind of illusory because he will, again, if fan and misses get swapped into, people are going to adjust their ranks and probably put Njoku kind of highly. So we'll see. I certainly think they're both live picks, but everyone, this was so much fun. I had an awesome week with all of you. I hope y'all had some fun. I hope you hit the like, hit the sub, drop a comment. We should be back in our office on Monday with slightly better production quality and lighting than we're getting here in this living room. But y'all are so awesome. Good luck this weekend. I hope some of you ship something. I hope at the very least you have some sweats because that's what it's all about. But take care, everyone. I will see you all on Monday and have a good one. Later, everyone.